What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to do a little bit different of a video. So normally we do these videos and we're kind of scripted and try to be short and concise and sweet and to the point. And honestly, what we're going to do is explain a little bit about the Dealer Pix Academy thesis, and that is why better photos get more clicks. And we're going to do that by actually just going into the computer. We're pulling up some random towns in America, and we're going to pull up Auto Trader as a search engine. We're going to pull up some vehicles that are listed for sale and just kind of show you a reaction video to what we think, in our opinion, after 5 million photos or plus that we photographed. And we're going to just kind of give some of our feedback on those, hopefully help you understand how we're looking at it, how your customers are looking at your photos, and hopefully help you to see that there is a better path. So let's jump right into it. We're just looking at the homepage. We're looking at Toyotas because I love Toyotas. Really, again, back to our thesis, what we're looking at is just the low quality of photos. You guys are spending top dollar to be at the top of the search results, and then what people are actually seeing is abysmal photos. All right, so first up, we have one of the brand new 2026 Toyota Land Cruisers, and you can see this photo. Obviously, this vehicle is parked right in front of the dealership. You can tell that that's the natural lighting. Oh wait, no, it's not actually. Now, I didn't notice before I pulled this up, this first image is actually a spin from Impel, and that's the one where they you do the 360 walk around the vehicle, and I can kind of drag it like this. Cool idea, honestly, but I would say that probably if the preponderance of your viewers are they're looking at photos on their phone, and so I don't know how well these are going to work on a tiny screen. I think it's a cool idea, but to be quite frank with you, there's probably a lot of gimmick going on with this. And I don't know that that's necessarily enticing anyone to want to buy it. I think people want to see high definition photos that really accentuate the color and the condition and the features of each vehicle. Not to mention, I don't even know how to get out of here. Like, I don't know how to get out of the spin to get over to the actual photo. So I think I need to go back and maybe click over here. Okay, there we go. And now I'm looking at actual photos. So we've made videos on this in the past. This vehicle is clearly sitting inside of a service shop or something like that, and yet they've put this AI car cutter cutout background, and then they've placed it with a real image of the dealership. Everyone knows that this is not where the photo is taken. And so if I were you, I would take the photo somewhere where you have really great lighting and a nice plain background, and then stop using the AI background of your dealership. Use a nice white, clean background. We actually made one of these, just a plain Jane background to put in for your backgrounds if you want to use something like Car Cutter, and it's linked down below. Just put in your email and it gets sent straight to your inbox. Use something like that, because this shows just cluttered mayhem. And of course the lighting's off, so everyone looks at it and they say, well, the background looks like it's AI, or the car looks like it's AI. Are these even real photos? Not a good look, guys. Oh, look, it was actually taken in a service shop. Who knew? All right, so now we're flipping through these, guys. The lighting is probably better than a lot of spaces that you could take photos for indoors, and maybe it was raining outside when they took these photos. But again, I would just say a critique of this is that you have a messy background and it really makes the photo look cluttered. Got some graphics in there. Again, just cluttered background as we flip through. I would say that the clarity of these is pretty good with the cell phone that they took these photos with. Not super high resolution, but at least they're clear, and that's largely because they have artificial light that's pretty even in that service shop. Again, cluttered background, cluttered background, cluttered background. Look, you even have trash on the floor here, just a big pile of paper. I don't know why you would do that. So our opinion in this environment would be it's a great idea to be able to take photos indoors if you have a proper backdrop that's not distracting. But when you're in a service bay like this and the walls are all different colors and you've got vehicles and equipment and all kinds of things and trash in the background, it's just not a good look. It makes your dealership look like you really don't care. And we would recommend either taking it outside to like a neutral back wall, and we could probably show you a few examples of what that looks like, or you would take one of these bays and paint the walls white in the background and only shoot kind of one direction. Again, I don't know what they're looking at. Really bad angles with some of these shots. I mean, they're showing the tire and the wheel. Again, really weird angles that they're shooting here. We're just flipping through these. Kind of fuzzy. You get into the interior. Now, this is a big problem we see most of the time, especially when you have artificial light and it's not really bright enough, is that you get into the interior, and with a cell phone camera, that little tiny aperture, the actual lens can't let a lot of light in these darker environments. So that's why you start seeing this fuzziness start happening on all these interior photos. So let's just go back. So that someone's going to spend $71,000 to buy this vehicle, and the photos look like a child took them. So again, we're not trying to be mean what we're doing here. And if you work at this dealership, please reach out to us. We'll give you a discount code and you can join the academy. The reason we're doing this is because there has to be a better standard. These photos are really terrible. You're getting a person who has the ability to spend $969 a month for their vehicle and you're putting photos to entice them to come buy it from you that look really not very good. So now we've got a pre-owned one. Now remember, with a pre-owned vehicle, people are going to be wanting not just to look at what features it has, they're going to wonder what condition it's in. They're looking at tires, they're looking at scratches, they're looking at upholstery condition, they're looking at floorboards, they're looking to see if the vehicle appears to be well maintained. So let's just jump into this one. Let's just go back. So this last set of photos, when I click on it, it goes almost full screen. That's at the larger format. If these were uploaded in Viato, they have 2 sizes that you can upload in. We can probably show you where those options are. All right, moving right along here. This one is a $32,000 vehicle. It's a 25 RAV4. Great. These photos, now I'm gonna click on this. Again, they're size small, so it's really hard to see. You can use a cell phone to take your photos, that's fine. You've got the little tiny lens on a cell phone, and I know they take great photos or whatever. A big problem you're gonna get is always that the camera lens in your phone is infinitely focused. It's focused on the vehicle in front, and it's focused out here to this vehicle, and it's focused all the way out here to these vehicles. So a good portrait, like of a person, is always gonna have that kind of blurred background. It's kind of a natural look. A lot of phones try this in their portrait mode, but when you're taking photos of your cars, you're not using that mode. And so what you're left with is infinite focus. Everything's in focus. So if you're in the middle of your lot, if these were all blurry in the background, it wouldn't really be that distracting because your eye's not drawn to it. It'd be drawn to what's in focus here in the middle. But when it's taken with the cell phone and everything's in focus, you're left with an image like this where everything's in focus and it's really distracting. Same thing and zoom in, like why all the dead space around it? Weird angle. This is laziness. They're just standing straight up and taking the photo. They don't want to bend over and get to an appropriate angle that makes the vehicle look more attractive. Again, they wanted to show the hatch up, maybe to show the cargo space, but instead they just took the whole photo of the hatch up and the cargo space, which makes it all tiny. Flipping, again, just inconsistent angles. Fuzzy, not very sharp, not very high definition. And I should probably tell you, when I say this is not high definition, I should compare it. This is what photos should look like when we're talking about interior photos being well lit and high definition, like really sharp. They're crispy, everything you can see in good detail. In this vehicle, I can't really tell if this is leather or cloth from that photo. I don't know about you. You're flipping, again, sloppy angles, and I hate this. This is a redundant photo. This photo, and then this photo. Same thing, just a slightly different angle. Again, it's like not level. Zoom in. Like if you want to show us the display, show me what's on that menu. Does it have navigation? Here's zoomed out so far. Backup camera, great. I don't know why they're shooting so low. Again, they're shooting up into the windows open and it's blowing out the whole photo and making it all hazy. Again, I still can't tell if this is cloth or leather. I don't know about you. This at 23 Toyota Tundra. Great, $39,000. Fantastic. Now, when I click on this and pull this up, got higher resolution, so kudos to them for that. This is a more neutral background for the car cutter, which I appreciate, but I would say again that the fuzziness on the vehicle really doesn't go with it. And it's also like there's a warm tone to this, probably bad lighting inside of where they're taking these photos, and you've got this really crispy white background. It just doesn't look real. Again, a caution to using car cutter if you don't have high resolution photos is that it looks fake. Again, they do have it all the way around on these main shots. Again, the floating shadow here over the line, it's starting to look like I'd get rid of this line for this graphic, for this background, and just make the floor neutral. Don't make it look like it's on a turntable when it's not. Everyone knows. Okay, more and more. Again, the logo on every image is a little distracting, just personal opinion. And then here we are. Obviously, we weren't in a 360 booth, so here's the shot. Bad lighting, poor lighting, it's not very well lit, and it's also zoomed all the way out, so it's just kind of a warped shot of the rear tailgate here. That's pretty good. I would be bringing the top of this frame, which is what we teach in our masterclass. I'd bring it level with this top of this bed rail, so you don't have all this distracting background in it. And look, it was shot in a parking garage. So that's why the lighting is so mixed looking. Keep going, like, hey, get level with the hub rather than being up like that. I guess we're looking at the headlight. Just zoom in and get closer so we know what you're telling us to look at. A lot of people do this when they're shooting inside of an indoor photo booth. It's that they don't have really good lighting, and when they open up the doors, it's not light enough inside the vehicle. So then they get in this position and they are using either a cell phone or a point and shoot camera, and they flipped up a flash and they're activating the flash in their cell phone, and they're shooting the interior photos with a harsh flash. It makes all these weird reflections and it's shiny in places and it's dull in places. It's still not sharp. So you got to use a better camera or get into a better photo environment. If your dealership has a huge parking garage next door, it's probably convenient to just drive in there and be able to shoot rain or shine, but the photos are kind of being affected by that, and you're having to use a flash inside, really low light, and it's just not ideal. Okay, so the final juxtaposition here, I mean, horrible photos. I can tell it's cloth. It looks, this flash is probably making this cloth seat look worse than it is, to be honest with you. So don't use a flash. It's always gonna look terrible. Or at least don't use the flash that's on the camera. Use, big strobes that are on the ceiling or something like that. Our rule is shoot straight on unless you're in reflection. So all these shots are just shot at a weird angle. And so it's kind of making it look like it was an accident that they're at an angle. It's just not a good look. Okay, so we're done looking at this. So now we're gonna flip over. I'm gonna look at the same truck, basically it's the same model and the same color. And this is one of the ones that we've done using our system, and I'm just gonna show you the difference. So I click on it here, it goes full screen because we uploaded full resolution. The photo is symmetrical. You've got equal space on the sides. You have just enough margin on the sides here so that the vehicle is filling the frame completely. Nice centered shot. Small margins here so that the vehicle is really filling the frame. Get the side angle there, nice and symmetrical. The vehicle looks level and is looking good. So this is the improvised rear shot. Again, it's not zoomed all the way out, so it's all distorted. Remember how that last one looked when we showed you that? So this one's at the correct focal length. There's the taillight is the obvious subject of the shot. Symmetrical level shot of the engine bay, and then we get to the interior. Now look at this. The entire dashboard is showing up on both sides, nothing beyond out of the window, and also we're seeing the seats here. Nice level shot of the center dash, nice level shot showing you the options that are on this screen, that it does have the navigation feature there. Nice shot showing you the heated and cooled seats. A nice shot of the toe brake controls, that it has push button start. See, we're leading, the purpose is that we have a photo sequence that's logical, but it leads the customer on a journey. They understand what they're looking at. Every time we take a photo, they see features and value added to that vehicle. So listen, the only reason why we went through all of these shots, and it might seem redundant that we just kept kicking the dead horse, is that your photos are what's selling your vehicle. Now, yeah, you could write a great description, you could do a really competitive price, but what people are seeing with their eyes is going to lead them to make a phone call or set up an appointment or just drive by and come and see that vehicle for themselves. So I know it's 2026 and there's a lot of technology and software and apps and AI and all this other stuff kind of competing for your ad budget. But if you're neglecting the visuals that are really compelling people to make a decision, an emotional decision to visualize themselves in the cockpit of that vehicle, driving it down the road with their family or friends, if you're missing that opportunity, you really are leaving money on the table. So it's time for a better way. We do encourage you right now, click on the link down below and join the Dealer Pix Academy today. It is the place where we have our comprehensive training to show your photo tech exactly how to take every single photo perfectly every time, regardless of the make, model, or features. We're going to show you how to nail it and have a system that is going to work. So go check that out today. It's linked down below. We hope to see you there. And thanks for watching on this video as we react to some terrible photos that are unfortunately the industry standard. There is a better way. We hope to see you in the Academy. Peace.